One day, you realize something terrifying. Nobody is coming. Not motivation. Not some perfect future version of yourself. Not the people who said they believed in you. Nobody is coming to pull you out of the life you keep tolerating. And at first, that realization feels heavy because most people spend years unconsciously waiting to be rescued, waiting for clarity, waiting to feel ready, waiting for life to finally begin. But while they wait, life quietly keeps moving without them. You ever lose an entire day without even noticing? You wake up late, grab your phone immediately, scroll for 5 minutes, then suddenly, sunlight is disappearing outside your window, and another day is gone. And the worst part, nothing dramatic happened. That's how most people destroy their future. Quietly, comfortably, one repeated habit at a time. Another excuse, another delay, another promise that tomorrow will somehow be different. But tomorrow doesn't change people. Repetition does. There's an old military strategy where commanders would burn the ships their soldiers arrived in on before battle. No retreat, no escape. Imagine standing on a beach watching your only way home disappear into flames while smoke fills the sky. That changes a person because humans become dangerous when escape disappears. But modern life gives you unlimited escape routes. Your phone, entertainment, comfort, distraction. Now you can avoid your potential forever without anyone stopping you. And some people do. Some people are exhausted, not because life is hard, but because they have spent years avoiding their own life, avoiding difficult conversations, avoiding discipline, avoiding the uncomfortable work they know they need to do. Deep down, they know the truth. Nobody runs their life faster than their excuses. Comfort is expensive. People think comfort is harmless because it feels good in the moment. But comfort slowly steals things from you. Your focus, your confidence, your standards, your self-respect. You can actually feel it happening. That feeling at night when you realize you wasted another day. That quiet disappointment when you keep breaking promises to yourself. That moment when you notice your attention span is so damaged that 10 minutes of focus feels painful. That's not peace. That's dependency. And dependency destroys potential. There is a psychology experiment called learned helplessness. Researchers discovered that after repeated failure, living creatures eventually stop trying to escape, even when escape becomes possible later. Think about how terrifying that is. Some people are living exactly like that right now. They failed a few times, got rejected a few times, embarrassed themselves a few times, and now they move through life like they already lost. Not because they're incapable, but because disappointment convinced them effort was pointless. That's how dreams die. Quietly. Not in one catastrophic moment, but in thousands of small moments where somebody decides to stop trying. A person slowly lowering their expectation for their own life. A person convincing themselves average is enough because chasing greatness feels emotionally dangerous. But history has always belonged to people who moved despite fear. There's a reason hesitation destroys so many lives. Most people spend years preparing mentally for a future they never actually enter. Overthinking, waiting, doubting, watching other people build the life they secretly want. Meanwhile, life keeps collecting time from them. Your future is watching your habits, not your intentions, not your excuses, your habits. People love talking about goals, but goals mean nothing without identity. And identity is built through repeated actions. What you repeatedly do becomes who you become. That's why discipline matters. Not because discipline makes you perfect. Because discipline teaches you that you can trust yourself again. And honestly, some people haven't trusted themselves in years. They say they'll wake up early. They don't. Say they will change. They don't. Say this time will be different. It isn't. Eventually, the mind notices. That's why breaking promises to yourself damages more than productivity. It damages identity. Discipline begins when excuses become embarrassing. And no, transformation is not beautiful in the beginning. It's lonely. There are moments where it feels like nobody understands you. Moments where progress feels invisible. Moments where your old habits pull at you constantly because comfort is familiar. But there is something more painful than discipline. Regret. One day, you suddenly realize you spent more time escaping your life than building one. You remember old versions of yourself who had ambition, ideas, energy, and wonder where they disappeared to. That realization crushes people, especially when they understand the truth too late. Nobody was coming to save them. And strangely enough, that truth is freedom, because once you stop waiting for rescue, your life finally becomes your responsibility. You stop romanticizing motivation and start respecting consistency. You stop blaming your circumstances and start adapting. You stop asking life to become easier and start becoming harder to break. That's when people change, not when life suddenly improves. When they decide they are no longer willing to keep abandoning themselves. So if you are waiting for somebody to save you, stop waiting. Nobody is coming. And maybe that's the best thing you could ever realize. Because the moment you take responsibility for your habits, your discipline, your future, your mind, your life finally belongs to you again. No more excuses. No more hiding behind potential. No more watching years disappear while you promise yourself you will start later. Your future is being built right now. And one day, you will either look back grateful that you finally took control of your life, or devastated that you kept waiting for rescue while time quietly left without you.